Okay, here it comes, the battle with the Seal Guardian crystals. I'm gonna have to explain everything that's going on here because it's a little bit funky, as you can see. So right there, Ferris is a monk, and Ferris has the killer bow. We're gonna do like a mini killer bow thing here. So Ferris has the but the killer bow actually did trigger. Looks like that's pretty neato. So on the first attack, the killer bow procced. It kind of skipped the animation there, but apparently it did go through. That's pretty interesting. All right, so this is Galef. Galef is a red mage. Wow, that really took me by surprise. He's got a guardian dagger, and he's gonna start by just getting protect on our characters, and then he can just use heal 2 and stuff as we go through. Butts here has the Doomax, which I'm hoping will work as scheduled. Hoping that will work as normal, like, and can proc a Doom attack. I'm trying to increase their evasion, and I'm also trying to decrease the amount of damage they do with their attacks. And we know for sure that the killer bows are going to work. I'm not sure if the Doomax will work for added effect. It's a pretty low chance anyway, but you know how that goes. So the killer bows, I think, are a little bit better in the situation. They have a straight-up 8% chance to inflict it, but I learned equip bows just before we started this fight with a character, and I only had 2 killer bows coming into this fight. So, wow, even with Protect, we didn't get much protection there. There might be something weird. I don't use the mini strat very often, so I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know it reduces the amount of damage you do, which I want to do here because I want to keep them out of their danger range, and it also... Let me see if it... Okay, so it has the same kind of weird stuff that the axe does. I'm not actually seeing any damage reduction, though. It looks like it's... looks like Protect is doing... Yeah, Protect is doing nothing for us. That's kind of sad. That's too bad. So I'm going to have to just switch to just having him do Cure 2s, I guess, on everybody. And that's going to be plenty enough to keep us healed for a good long while, though. So that's fine with me. We also do have Chakra kind of mixed in there. I'm looking to see if there is a Doomax proc. I'm not actually seeing a Doomax proc, so maybe the Doomax does not function as scheduled, which is too bad. I should have gone to buy a 3rd killer bow then, in that instance. Knowing that now, I should have gone... I thought it was going to be kind of a comical... a comical image of somebody taking a big swing of the Doomax with a tiny little dude. We'll just have him use Chakra, because it really doesn't look like the Doomax is doing much. See, like that, the dodge there is interesting. So Kick does not work while you're mining. So Ferris is a monk there, so she can actually counter, I believe, unless counter is turned off with Mini as well. I didn't do a whole lot of research on this strategy. I just wanted to try it because it's something that I have access to with this party, and it's something that I've never really done. So it's not all working 100% to plan, but because the Doomax... Oh, there it is. So it does have a check. I wasn't noticing any checks on the Doomax. I was certain there after attacking 3 or 4 times and not seeing even a proc to check. Not one that landed, but even just a proc to check the little pause in the ATB. So far we've had a killer bow and a Doomax fire off. And I could not be happier with coming up with this particular plan. Again, I think I was talking about this before. The killer bow may have a slightly better chance because the killer bow has a straight 8% that doesn't look at their magic evasion or anything. The Doomax has a 33% chance to try it if it hits, and then it has to go over the level-based check and the magic evasion check. So I didn't actually do the math to see if it was less than 8% chance per swing, because these guys don't have any physical evasion. And so like a hunter that has the aim command, which I'm using there on Lena, would it's just they have a straight 1 out of every 13, but it's 12.5, I think, 8%, I think, is 1 out of every 12 and a half-ish. So now I just have to try to keep everybody alive. So the reason she missed is the bows don't have a perfect chance to hit. So I guess it's slightly less than 8% per attempt, which is how I always calculate things like this. When I need to calculate something, I always do it per attempt, rather than you know, looking at on a hit, because your attempts can miss in different situations like that. So that's the math you always want to use. All right, there was a killer bow. You saw that flash. The flash means that the killer bow procced. And I'm just going to have him use Chakra, because I think he's the only one who needs any HP. Alright, and he'll have to use Chakra again next time. So far we've got, the score is Killer Bow 2, Doomax 1. That was a check on the Doomax that we just saw on that 4 damage attack. And I was thinking about this strategy for a while, because once I get my fourth job, one of the first things I think about is this crystal battle. I think about what am I going to do for the crystals, because that's a major roadblock, and if you don't have some narrow answers, they can be tough to get over the hump. But I also look for interesting ways to beat these guys if I can. And this is probably the most interesting one that I have found, with access to the mini to do less damage and get my killer bow and Doomax on. I'm glad I got to make this happen. Another way that I could, with this party, beat this battle is we could do the classic fire rods, and then try to rush down the fire crystal. So you rush down each crystal. So you use fire rods to get all of them except the fire crystal just past their critical range, and then you try to rush them down with your biggest attacks. But with this party, we don't really have the speed or the big output. Without, I could grind for like X magic on everybody. That would be a lot of a lot of grinding to get ready for that. So I decided to kind of skip that one and go for a killer bow, and I did get 1 Doomax back in World 1 strategy, which that's the reason I'm using it now, is I grabbed it before going to World 2 just in case I felt like I needed it. So I'm glad that I went and grabbed that before we moved on, so we can have this fun little battle here. Alright, so yeah, the only one without access to the instant attacks is the little red mage there. Everyone else has a chance to inflict it. I hope that this doesn't go on long enough that we need to worry about throwing a high potion at that thing, doing single-digit damage with my Doomax. And by the way, Galef does have the gold hairpin on, so he has MP for days. He can keep us healed for a long time. Yep, so a straight up miss there. Here we go. That's aim that you're seeing. I don't know if I made that clear before. So she is using the aim commands. And yeah, I think I like the Guardian. I could put the heal staff in his hand. I doubt he's going to run into trouble, but I could put the heal staff in his hand for some free healing of other characters, so they don't have to worry about trying to use Chakra and missing a turn, missing a chance to take an enemy out. I think so far all 3 of my insta-kill weapon wielders have taken one out. So it's a matter of who's gonna score 2 at the end here. Let's have him hang out for a sec. Oh, there was a check for 1. Yeah, so it's only gonna check 1 out of every 3 hits. And that slight hiccup in the ATB is what tells you that it's doing a check. The flash of the screen in what looks like a critical hit from the monk on the killer bow, that's what tells you that the killer bow is proccing. So you see the flash happen before the enemy fades away. So you actually see the big flash while the arrow is on its way. Although with this mini thing, it does look weird. Kind of caught me by surprise on that first attack there when I didn't see an animation. And then we have that sudden... So that was a counterattack right there. So that could have, I believe, could have done it. Counters do behave strangely, so it's possible that the counter might override the added effects. Counters override a lot of weird stuff, but not sure if it overrides that particular part. So we're just going to keep working on this guy. I don't know how long we'll be here. The first three went down, well, first one went down in one hit, but the other ones are pretty good. The killer bow should have, like I said, about a 1 in 12.5-ish chance to hit. So you would think that after about 13 attacks, we are due for one. Dumax, maybe a little bit less than that once you have all of the checks for everything, but there is the Dumax. So it is actually the Dumax taking out 2 of them. I should have done the math so I could have known exactly, but as I said, I just learned to equip bows on a second character before this, so that I was going to go into this with just 2 bow shooters, but I thought, okay, I'll have 2 bows and a Dumax to do this. So I don't know which one exactly at my level has better odds, but there we go. I'll take 15 AP on my tiny little guys. And I got the rare soot drop. Awesome.